What if a message from the stars wasn't a radio wave, but a silent flash of light speaking the oldest language in the universe? On October 13, 2025, an interstellar object, thought to be long gone, sent a signal that defied all known physics. It wasn't random noise. It was a mathematical pattern, the same one that shapes galaxies and life itself, detected by two observatories on opposite sides of the Earth at the exact same moment. Let's explore this together.
The night of pulses.
What happens when the sky blinks in perfect rhythm? On October 13, 2025, at exactly 2:41 UTC, that question became terrifyingly real. The Cerro Tololo Inter-American Observatory in Chile and the Mount Abu Infrared Observatory in India, separated by nearly 8,000 miles, recorded the same impossible event. 3 faint rhythmic bursts of light emerged from the darkness behind the sun. The source was pinpointed to the trajectory of 3IATLAS, an interstellar object that had disappeared from view weeks earlier. These weren't random flickers. They were structured, appearing in both optical and near-infrared bands, suggesting a controlled emission rather than a natural reflection. As Dr. Seth Shostak, a senior astronomer at the SETI Institute, has often said, a signal that is deliberately structured and information-rich is hard to explain away as a natural phenomenon. On their own, the pulses could have been dismissed as instrument noise or cosmic ray hits, common artifacts in astronomical data, but appearing identically at the same moment in 2 independent observatories, removed all possibility of coincidence. The synchronized detection transformed a potential error into a verified observation, forcing a re-evaluation of what was possible. The sky went silent, then it blinked, and the world was never the same.
Fibonacci sequence.
Is there a language any intelligence in the universe would understand? The answer is mathematics, and the pulses from 3IATLAS used one of its most elegant dialects. The intervals between the bursts were precisely 5, 8, and 13 seconds. This isn't a random set of numbers, it's a core section of the Fibonacci sequence. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, the famous pattern where each number is the sum of the 2 preceding it. First introduced to the Western world by the Italian mathematician Leonardo of Pisa in his 1202 book Liber Abaci, this sequence is nature's architectural blueprint. It appears in the spiral arms of the M51 Whirlpool galaxy and governs the principle of phyllotaxis, the arrangement of leaves on a plant stem, which often follows Fibonacci ratios to maximize sun exposure. The 19th century mathematician Edward Lucas, who gave the sequence its modern name, studied its properties extensively. The use of this sequence suggests a message designed to be universally recognizable as non-random and biological or structural in nature. For an interstellar object to emit signals matching this pattern was profoundly strange. It was as if it was broadcasting a page from the universe's own design manual.
Double confirmation.
How do you turn an anomaly into a fact? You get a second, independent witness. That's what made the 3IATLAS event impossible to dismiss. One observatory seeing strange flashes is a curiosity. It could be a bird, a satellite glint, or an equipment malfunction. But 2 observatories, on opposite sides of the planet, with different instruments and different atmospheric conditions, recording the exact same pattern signal within 0.04 seconds of each other. That is data. At Cerro Tololo, the sensors logged the bursts at precise Fibonacci intervals. At Mount Abu, the thermal imaging array recorded identical spikes, confirming the event occurred across multiple wavelengths. The odds of this happening by chance, from cosmic background radiation or simultaneous instrument failure, were calculated to be 1 in a billion. As the great astronomer Carl Sagan taught us, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and this dual detection was precisely that. The team systematically ruled out every known terrestrial and orbital source, leaving them with a deeply unsettling conclusion. The double confirmation was that evidence, forcing a stark choice upon the scientific community. Either they had witnessed an instrumental coincidence of astronomical improbability, or something out there was deliberately transmitting a mathematical sequence using pulses of light.
The golden ratio.
What if the message was not just in the timing, but in the light itself? The Fibonacci sequence is directly linked to another fundamental constant, the golden ratio, an irrational number that's approximately equal to 1.618, also known as phi. Back in the 17th century, The astronomer Johannes Kepler marveled at these divine proportions, believing they revealed the universe's geometric harmony. Now, analysis of the 3I/Atlas pulses showed its light wasn't just blinking. Its peak brightness actually scaled with each pulse. The intensity of the second pulse was roughly 1.6 times that of the first, and the third scaled similarly, matching the progression of phi. The physicist Roger Penrose has shown this ratio appears in fundamental physics and the geometry of space-time. To produce such a signal would require a mechanism capable of precise energy modulation, which is, honestly, far beyond random reflections off an asteroid. The energy distribution of the pulses also matched a logarithmic spiral, a form found everywhere from nautilus shells to the arms of hurricanes. This precise scaling across distance, frequency, and intensity simply could not be a random reflection. It had to be intentionally modulated.
The Fatima anniversary.
Why did the signal from 3I/ATLAS arrive on October 13th? For many, this date was not a coincidence. It was a deliberate echo through history. The event occurred on the 108th anniversary of the miracle of the sun at Fatima, Portugal. On October 13, 1917, tens of thousands of witnesses claimed to see the sun dance, spin, and emit brilliant colors before appearing to plummet toward the earth. Sociologists like Robert Bartholomew have studied the event as a case of mass suggestion and optical phenomena caused by atmospheric conditions, but its cultural and religious power remains immense. It became a cornerstone of faith for millions, a day where the heavens supposedly intervened in human affairs. Now, over a century later, another impossible light show connected to a celestial body took place on the very same day. One was perceived as a divine miracle, the other was recorded as a mathematical signal. The parallel was impossible to ignore, suggesting a potential awareness of our history and myths. A celestial body performing impossible light movements, on the same date, separated by 108 years, felt less like chance, and more like a deliberate symbolic act of communication.
NASA's blackout.
When the most powerful eyes on the sky suddenly go dark, you have to ask why. Just hours before the 3I/ATLAS pulses were detected, NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory, or SDO, went offline for scheduled maintenance. The SDO is a workhorse, capturing an image of the sun every 12 seconds, across 10 different wavelengths, and generating nearly 1.5 terabytes of data daily. For it to go dark during such a critical window is, honestly, highly suspicious. Compounding this, the high-rise camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which can resolve objects down to 30 centimeters on Mars, had been inactive since October 1st. Nicola Fox, the head of NASA's Heliophysics division, oversees these missions. The official explanation cited routine calibration overlaps, but for two premier systems to be down simultaneously felt, to many, too convenient. The SDO's atmospheric imaging assembly, in particular, would have been the perfect instrument to confirm or debunk the pulses directly. Its absence created an unfillable data gap, fueling speculation that this was not maintenance, but a deliberate blackout.
Harmonic resonance.
Was the 3I/ATLAS signal just numbers, or was it a form of music? According to the work of theorist David Cerro, the signal was a frequency map that aligned perfectly with his hyperdimensional solar model. In this framework, the numbers 5, 8, and 13 are not arbitrary. They correspond to specific harmonic resonances within our solar system. The number 5 relates to Earth's orbital position, 8 to a stable interplanetary zone beyond Mars, and 13 to a deep gravitational shell near Jupiter. Cerro's interpretation reframed the event entirely. The object wasn't just blinking a code, it was striking a cosmic tuning fork, creating brief flashes that carried harmonic energy across the vast distances of our solar system. This idea echoes the ancient concept of musica universalis, or music of the spheres, a theory the great astronomer Johannes Kepler dedicated his life to proving in the 17th century. Kepler believed the planets moved in orbits that corresponded to musical notes, creating a celestial symphony. While his specific theory was incorrect, Cerro's analysis proposed a modern version, that the 3I/ATLAS pulses were a physical manifestation of the deep mathematical and resonant structure of our own solar system, a structure we are only just beginning to understand.
The Dante connection.
Could a 700-year-old poem hold a clue to an interstellar message? In the 14th century, the Italian poet Dante Alighieri wrote Paradiso. In it, he describes heaven as 9 concentric celestial spheres, with their structure governed by precise numerical and geometric principles. The year of Dante's death, 1321, is exactly 704 years before the 2025 event. Physicist and Dante scholar Mark A. Peterson published a famous paper in 1979, arguing that Dante's cosmos wasn't just concentric circles, but a hypersphere, the three-dimensional surface of a four-dimensional ball. The rhythm of ascent in Paradiso mirrors patterns of growth similar to the Fibonacci sequence. Now, this isn't to say Dante predicted the signal, but that the mathematical patterns of order and growth are so universal they appear in both our deepest artistic intuitions and in signals from the cosmos. The idea that an interstellar signal in 2025 would use the same sequence is, honestly, staggering. It raises the haunting possibility that this mathematical pattern is a universal signature of intelligent design, an archetype recognized across cultures, centuries, and perhaps even worlds.
Observatories respond.
How does the scientific establishment react when faced with the impossible? With extreme caution. For nearly a week after the event, the Cerro, Tololo, and Mount Abu observatories remained completely silent, consulting with international astronomical bodies. When they finally issued statements, the language was sterile and non-committal. They confirmed the data was real, the timestamps were synchronized, and the pulses were detected. But they refused to speculate on the source, labeling it a non-repeating, transient, photometric anomaly. It was a phrase designed to say everything and nothing, acknowledging the event while stopping short of any extraordinary interpretation. Yet, the data they released spoke for itself. The photometric light curves showed three sharp, distinct peaks with perfect Fibonacci spacing. As planetary astronomer Dr. Frank Marcus of the SETI Institute would argue, you must first exhaust all possible natural explanations, no matter how unlikely. But here, every known natural cause, cosmic rays, satellites, instrumental errors, had been systematically ruled out by their internal reviews. The observatories published their findings not with a press conference, but in quiet technical bulletins buried in their archives. But the message was clear. The signal was real, it was verified, and it was now part of the scientific record.
The missing data.
Sometimes, the most important clue is the evidence that isn't there. As researchers and the public scrambled for answers, all eyes turned to NASA, whose silence was deafening. The data from the Solar Dynamics Observatory for the entire period of the 3IATLAS event was missing from the public archives. This was a gap where 1.5 terabytes of crucial solar data should have been. There was no error note, just a void. Edward Tufte, a pioneer in data integrity, teaches that such omissions are often more revealing than the data itself. This silence wasn't limited to NASA. The European Space Agency's solar orbiter issued no comment, despite being in a perfect position to observe. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA also remained quiet. NASA has strict protocols for documenting data gaps from missions like the SDO. The complete absence of such documentation was a major breach of their own standards of transparency. This global information blackout became the smoking gun, transforming the narrative from a scientific puzzle into a potential cover-up. In the end, we are left with a hauntingly simple pattern: 3 pulses of light, with intervals of 5, 8, and 13 seconds. It was a signal that used the universal language of mathematics, broadcasted on a date loaded with historical symbolism, and confirmed by 2 independent witnesses. Yet, the agencies with the power to verify it were conveniently looking the other way. Was 3IATLAS a natural phenomenon so bizarre it mimicked intelligence, or was it a deliberate message from something far beyond our understanding? A cosmic hello from a passing traveler? We may never know for sure, but its journey through our solar system served as a powerful reminder that the universe is far stranger and more mysterious than we ever thought possible. It proved that we are not just looking at the stars, something may be looking back. What do you think 3IATLAS was? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the universe's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching Stellar Tech.